Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Doggo Card Reviews. We are back here with another set review. This time it's going to be It's the Order of Rabbit Bloom.
You mean Gochi Usa Bloom, sir, aka one of the two sets that actually matters this year?
I mean, you really want to call it by the Japanese name? That's fine too, but at that point, why wouldn't I just say Gokumon Wawasaki? Just
Because that's verbose, sir.
that's Japanese for us. Anyway, joining us today, we actually have a little guest here. So, let's go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, I am the little guest. I am Ian Lohman on the Weiss Global Board. I am from Arizona, do the Arizona Locals thing, and Rabbids is my number 3 favorite anime, the only one they've actually made into a set, and I'm a self-proclaimed expert.
Alright.
So, yeah, I'm kind of here to give my 2 cents on it. I'm really excited. Thank you guys for having me.
For sure. Feeling is mutual. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and get with the first card here. We start off with none other than Halloween Night Sorrow. 0/0/0 cost 2,000 power. When your other character's battle point becomes reversed, choose one of your Bloom characters or characters with Sorrow or Chia in their card names and it gets power plus 500. And she is a self-tapped salvage brainstorm for Bloom or Sorrow or Chia's.
All right, so I got a joke for this one. It might be a little bit political, but please don't defund this police officer. She's already poor enough.
Actually, I was gonna say, is it too early for the 5-0 jokes?
Yeah, so
oh my god, did you actually watch Hawaii 5-0?
Yes.
Okay.
Someone alert the local winchels, man.
yeah, as far as this card goes, it is a generic brainstormer to say the least. It's pretty good. It goes in all your Bloom decks. All the new stuff really enjoys it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sharo Chia is thankful to have tap self instead of tap 2.
Well, fine. Actually, no, we had tap self back in set 1. We don't talk about that brainstorm.
Clock brainstormers do not count as real brainstormers. Okay.
Exactly why we don't talk about it.
But yeah, for your first double rare, this is your bread and butter. It goes in like 3 or 4 of the new decks. You're probably playing this in the 8 standby build, your yellow green build, your Bloom build, any sort of
right.
teams like it's yeah, that first ability that's the plus 500 on reverse, completely irrelevant like 90% of the time. Just enjoy having it, I guess, but yeah, it salvages for relevant trait, and that's kind of the start and end of it.
It's more of, hey guys, we needed an excuse to make this a double rare.
Right. So just for the audience here, prior to this expansion, It's the Order of Rabbit has been focused primarily on different sorts of factions. We have Rabbit House, we have Chia Sharo, the childhood friends duo, and we have blue characters primarily being either the Chimame Corps or the the author Aoyama Blue Mountain, and now later her assistant. And we also had for a short while we had the best Shaw/treasure as well as Dear My Sister. And Bloom here introduces a Bloom trait to allow people to actually pick this up and build from it standalone.
Yep. So
here's your bread, man.
Yeah, 100%. Like in a limited space, if you're just cracking these, like Bloom trait is the place to be. So if you see this, you pick it up immediately because every single thing in the set is Bloom.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, in limited, you don't have much other choice.
You have
you do have another choice.
4 different brainstorms, I believe, in this set.
Yeah.
So you have a choice. This is just the best one.
Overall, yeah.
I mean, in limited, this is most likely going to be your one double rare. If you get this, I'm going. To waste
Yeah,
it.
you're p lucky if you end up getting this, but it's like somebody's got to get some double rare, and if this is yours, like 1,000%. I feel like
Oh,
there's not much else to be said here. I got to give it a playable.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
solid. Yeah, solid playable. Yeah, I agree.
But it's one of those. Oh well, it's a brainstorm. There's not much to say about this.
Yeah, and when I said there was 4 brainstorms, 2 of those are fucking terrible. Okay, we're talking about the spammable brainstorm, which is like a 1 of at most, that transforms into that, which we'll of course talk about in a couple, and the 2-1 brainstorm, the new Rize one that got revealed like at the very end.
Again, man. Again, man. It's like saying the clock swap from set one is relevant, man. Come on.
Yeah,
I bet you're not speaking about it.
fucking limited here. You are definitely pressed for brainstormers.
Oh,
Right.
that's in general. All right. Anyway, let's move on. We do have a couple cards that refer directly back to this and yellow proper.
Alrighty. At work together, Cocoa and Shadow. 328,000. Alright, it's Fleur de Lapine and Bloom. So if Halloween Night Shadow is in your clock area, she's level 2. Let's see here. All of your other Bloom and Sheer or Shadows in front of this card get 2,000. And she is a Dugtrio, boys.
Hey,
Yeah,
early play
top X
cantrip.
check. Yeah, what do you guys think about this one?
It's a tough one. It's a really tough one.
It's one of those like you will want. It's one of those you want to play it, but you easily run out of space to put this in.
Like
I definitely agree.
it's one of those. Okay, it's probably the biggest boost we're gonna get in this entire set, and it's a cantrip. So if your opponent wants to anti-change this, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. This really only has 2 spots in 2 different decks, which is of course yellow green, where you're going to be running the brainstorm early play condition anyway, and probably the bloom deck itself, because the brainstormer is your brainstormer, so you could have access to this as an early play.
Right.
The 2K power pump in bloom deck, you're probably running the standby as well, so this can just be a standby out. If you hard play it, I think it's a lot more effective in Sharo and Chia, because you're kind of lacking ways to grab your climaxes in that, depending on what you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, kind of wish it was a healer over a top check. I would definitely go for like a frontal assist and then a heal on play. I think that would give you a bit more stability at level 2 as Sharo and Chia.
Right.
Yeah, in general, like, decent card. That art's fantastic. She's giving you the OK symbol, Coco there. Like,
Oh, I was gonna say I was more like a Gotham symbol.
but it's like, oh, what's not to love about it besides there being other better cards? Unfortunately,
Now,
It's just more
here's
because
kind
of how expensive, Rebels has become. It's just more of, you have so many good cards from previous expansions. They just go, well, I would like this, but I don't have the space for it in my legacy deck or something.
unfortunately though, I do have a bit of problem with this card. So, like Ian was saying, it's kind of one of the big things about it. You already most likely took damage to summon this out. So you clocked a card from your hand, you gain 2 cards, and then this cantripped itself. Fair enough. So essentially, I took 1 damage, spent 2 stock to go at a +1. I'm going, oh, it's not necessarily the best. Now, of course, the support.
well, you would go, yeah. But the thing is, it works as like a certain early play because you're already running the brainstorm. You're probably clocking at level 2 regardless of your top end, just because you want more cards for your finisher, especially in the bloom deck. Like,
Fair enough.
you're clocking anyway. The card you're probably clocking is this Brainstorm. It's
Right.
it sucks that it's not like going to be one stock because it doesn't heal the stock or anything, and that's why I think standbying it in is like a lot better. Like top X check, sure, it can niche be helpful, but I think you'd really just do this to buff up your front row in general.
Yeah,
I agree
definitely,
more with
definitely.
that. I agree more with that. Like this is much better stood by in. Like sure, we lose the card. We lose the card if we don't hardcast it. Fair enough. I don't think that from my own experience playing the deck so far, I don't really miss the card that much. Like I would love to have this. I mean, this is great bait. Go ahead. If you want to anti-change this, go ahead. It's not the
Mhm.
biggest deal if I lose this.
It, it's somewhat deceptive because if you look at all the finishers in the set, and of course we're going to go over them all, like the amount that rely on power is very few. So this is just kind of like board stability. So if they anti-change this, don't really lose a whole lot. In the two decks that it goes in, you're either you're in the Bloom deck, you probably have your 2/2 standby targets out, and they're like 12k. They were already 10k originally, so it's going to be a little rough to get over them. If people are getting over them, wow, that's kind of a bad matchup. If they weren't, this is just like icing on the cake. In the Sharo Chia deck, this is probably helping your 1/0 combo stay like 6/5, 7k on your turn, which is like if we were at level 1, it might be defendable, but we're talking about like level 2 and level 3. And
Right.
so it really loses its effectiveness. And um I think that unless like if you're playing the gold bar finisher for Chiasharo that like needs the reverse, I think this is probably a really good card, really fun.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
But
oh yeah.
um
Definitely in green tea, I would definitely run this like 100%.
mhm. But as it stands in like a more yellow focused deck or just the two decks I already named in general, I you can maybe play it as a one of, two of if you're like super hyped on the card, but I
Right.
see it personally as
It
niche.
ultimately
Like
it ultimately depends on how board based of a deck you're trying to be at levels 1 and 2.
board based, and then how accessible are your climaxes. Like the thing that befuddles me is this card's probably the very best, like at its best in the gold bar deck, but you do not need a top X check in the
Right.
gold bar deck
You don't need
because you're getting those to hand anyway.
correct.
So, so it's a really nice card, pretty decent effects on it, super nice art, but I think that besides being like a one of tech card to just stomp over other standby decks or walls, like this doesn't really have a place in anything super relevant.
Right. Now let's try to switch gears over to this in a limited context.
No,
In
definitely
a,
not.
in a limited context, you can't even hope to grab this and your brainstormer. Like they're both double R's, so there's not a chance in hell.
Right, you will have to
And
force
then
cast this. You have to hard cast this at level 3 if you do see it as a double.
And then pretty much every other level 3 in the set is more impactful on play than this one.
Oh, definitely.
So unless you're the guy in limited who's already pulled this brainstormer, which you're only going to get one of, by the way, I wouldn't even begin to consider taking this, even as a double R. And if you did pull the double R brainstormer, I would still say you're probably better off taking something else from the pot.
I
Like,
agree with Ian's analysis completely.
yeah,
That's fair enough.
I'm not saying it's a bad card either. I think this deserves niche in the general sense because maybe your meta locally is like all walls and standby and stuff. This puts your stuff at 12k, 12.5. That's really rough to get over. Top X check in if you're playing 8 choice or choice and wind, like you have nearly no way of getting climaxes, but it's it's really a personal call, and I don't think it's the right call at all.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to give that a niche. even as a double R, which really hurts me.
Hey, it happens. Sometimes double R's can just be, mediocre, unimpressive, etc.
Oh,
But look how cute it is. I want to run as many of these as I can.
Like the card is cute. I really like that scene in the anime.
Yeah, if we're
working
rating it
together.
playable plus art, I'll give it that
Oh
much.
man.
you know what? You know what? Just because it has utility in the standby shell, I'm gonna get this playable minus. Actually, I'll be nicer here.
Yeah, I also agree with Gavin. Like, just because there are decks that can actually make use of this, like a board-based deck with standby, or like you were mentioning, Ian, of decks that just don't have guaranteed climaxes like Pax or Gold Bar. I think this has its place, and those are viable strategies.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a meta-dependent call. If all you're seeing every week is standby, I'd probably play 2 of these, not just 1 or not just 0.
Fair
But
enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
Right.
Alrighty. So usual work close Sharo, 0/0, 1,000 power, Fleur de Lapin and Bloom. It's got Act. Put this card in the waiting room. Choose one of your Halloween Night Sharo in the waiting room and put it in this card's previous slot. And then it is a pay 1, flip the top 4 cards of your deck for each climax revealed. Search your deck for a Bloom character or a character with Sharo and Shia name. Add to hand, then discard. So this is a spammable brainstorm, and I gotta say, I really love this card. In a limited sense, it's poo poo, but I think this completely shifts your run 4 brainstorms to run 3 of your double rare brainstorms and 1 of this because it's spammable. It can help clean out your stock. It freely changes into your real brainstorm, and it's a search brainstorm as opposed to your double rare salvage brainstorm. So you can kind of hand fix for your combo early on. If you end up hitting your salvage brainstorm on one of your spammable brainstorms, you can immediately swap into it. Like it's good added utility to both the Bloom deck and the Fleur de Lapin. Like it's costed milling, but it's a spammable brainstorm. So one of the biggest weaknesses that Yellow Green had was its terrible ability to mill without a climax combo. I think this goes a long way into fixing it.
You know, Ian actually does have a point. In fact, when again, as someone who has played, green tea in the past, the yellow green deck, oh god, moving through that deck.
It's pretty much a no, right?
Outside of your combo, FR man, you are
right?
moving.
You're stuck in that deck for like the next 2 to 3 turns, right?
Oh, you refresh 3/4 out, yeah. Oh yeah, GG man, you're dead. You're dead.
I'm sure
Yeah,
you have all the gold bars in the world, but
it had no way to mill itself before, and this set as a whole does a great job. But I think this is like one of your key one-ofs that you don't even feel its presence in the deck, but when you double or triple trigger and they're on the bottom of your stock as far as climaxes go, this saves your entire life. Like this puts you back in the game.
And and the fact that we can freely change to it.
Mhm.
You know what? Okay, in limited, oh hell no, hell no, you don't take this.
You pass.
No, not
You
at
see
all.
this as
This
a rare
is
pass.
Pass. Like, oh god, one of the pack's cursed, man.
Yeah, this is you open up the pack. It's been passed around 3, 4, maybe 5 times, and you're just looking at all the commons, and you're
the only
maybe
time you
I'll need
take,
to mill so many
I think the only time you
cards.
take a significant is that you already pulled Halloween Night Star, just to be like, you effectively have 2 of those in your deck, right?
Hey, fair enough.
You could also potentially do grab this in limited just because it's okay, limited, my deck is crap, but I can mill through my deck if it's super crap. Um, this obviously doesn't plus you or anything, but you might still take it in a limited format even without the double rare change, just as a mill 4. kind of sort of.
Pay one, mill 4 damage.
Yeah. This is definitely like your fifth or sixth pick in a pack of like 9 or 10 cards. But um, if we take that together, if we take like constructed and limited, I'd say like either playable minus, niche plus. Like I definitely feel like in constructed, this is worth playing a one of. Even, but I definitely probably wouldn't go more than one of. If you're playing the card we just previously went over, like you want more of the Sharo Brainstormers for your early play condition, so I wouldn't go below 3. I just think this is like a great substitute.
I'm gonna stitch together the niche.
Yeah, I'll go with niche
Okay.
yeah, because it's a one of at most, even if you're fully constructed, and like a one of that you maybe play instead of like the fourth copy of the real Brainstorm. I'd give that a niche.
Yeah, I will give it. It sounds like it's useful primarily in like one of these several decks.
And you're in desperation mode when it comes to limited.
It's a bad time when you need to use this, but it's always good to have it.
Okay, fair enough. Right. On here we have Ground Gift. Sharo, level 1, 0 cost, 4,000 power with the 4-day Lockbong and Bloom traits. During your turn, you have another Bloom character or a character with Sharo or Chia in its card game, which will honestly a big difficult. This card gets 3,000 power, and card must combo when her battle point becomes first. If, because it's glittering, the common choice trigger over there is in your requirements area, look at up to your top 2 cards of your deck, reveal up to 2 Bloom characters or characters with Sharo or Chia in their card games amongst them, add them to your hand, and mill the rest.
Alrighty, I don't know if it's just my screen, but the pictures on these are super scuffed. But if you get a completely clear picture of this 1-0, that's a smile you gotta protect. It's the cutest card in the set, hands down. Okay, that doesn't even begin to touch its playability, which I'm gonna bust out of the gate with my playability rating. I think it's playable plus.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Off the bat, we're having to like over. He is like, he's like, I believe.
Yeah, that might surprise you, but let me make my case here. Okay, so if you're not playing this card, you are playing the 1-0 Dear My Sister combo that is a top 4 check. And I will admit, I personally still play that combo. But if you're just exclusive to Bloom, or if you don't like wind triggers, like first off, it's on a choice, which is going to generate you stock throughout the game. In this case, you're probably playing an 8-choice deck. It is super solid. Secondly, it's 8K on combo. You literally play it, and it's 7K on your turn. Play with the climax, 8K. It is an on reverse combo, which is the weakest part of this, but I still think that you get 2 of these, you're probably plussing 4 in your deck. 3 of these out, a +6. Like Data Live was broken because of its level 1 combo, and this tries to reach that level. Of course, it doesn't, because it's not on attack and it doesn't add events, unfortunately. But in Sharo Chia, it makes you play a few less events. I think you were running maybe 1 or 2 events out of your 50 cards. In the Bloom deck, if you don't like the standby combo, which misses on anything that's level 0, and Gachiyusa has a ton of amazing level 0s. This grabs level 0s. You don't miss out on it. It's Bloom, it's Sharo, it's Chia. So if you want to play this as an alternate in the Bloom deck, because you just want to play a more level 0 focused game, you don't want to be stuck at like 14, 15 level 0s, you can grab this one. If you want to play this in Sharo Chia, it's generating you extra stock just because of its trigger. It's incredibly big. I think 7.75 is kind of where you have to be to be like defendable with a counter. for your opponent anyway. This gets 8K without any assistance at all. You literally just have to be playing the game. And if you can get more than 2 of these off, you're already plussing than more on attack combos are. So I just think it's like a really solid choice if you're stuck in bloom, if you like choice over wind. It mills you a decent bit, not as much as the Dear My Sister combo. And the mill is literally the only reason I'm running the old combo, but I think this card's really good.
So, Ian, you might have heard this phrase before. Divinations are OP.
Yes.
But,
Literally.
we've seen a similar card backing Assault Lily in Alfheim Saraha, I believe.
Yep. It's more of again, man. It's divination, man. I heard you like drawing cards.
True.
Yeah, drawing cards is great.
It's like it's divination with a smile on it. What's not to like?
The card is mega cute. I would even say that smile, you don't even have to play the OFR, the foil version of this, which also looks beautiful. But this one is the little cuteness and drawing 2 cards at the expense of like not playing some events, which there's like one playable event between the 2 colors that you have in here. It's like this card's great, and if you're not running standby, you should be running this. There's literally no other combo in Bloom, if you're playing Bloom, that you should run.
I mean, like both Bloom and Chien Shot are like going. Okay, why would I run the old Maguro combo when divination exists?
Literally only for the mill, and I'm still stuck on it only for mill. But if you have more cards, which we got in this set, if you're willing to play those cards, this is just the better choice.
Like, like as Chia and Shadow, I had to clock a lot, even after I comboed, I'm going because again, neither combo is defendable. You don't care, man. She's gonna get smushed in response.
And you have a salvage brainstorm, which means you can totally just get all that stuff back.
Exactly. So you know what? It's insanity. And guess what? From a limited standpoint, dude, why not? This is one of the best.
It's a rare. You can totally come across 1 or 2 of these.
Yeah.
Like it's a decent pickup, but maybe I'm rating it extra highly because that smile just like literally adds 5 years onto my life. It's amazing.
You know what? I'm going. All right, Ian. You have my hand. We're going even further beyond, boys.
Playable plus. I think my argument's solid.
Did we give Ray Sora that high?
No, we gave Sora the playable. But again, dude, this is bigger than Sora, dude.
This is bigger than Sora. Is that a choice trigger go versus the gold bar?
Yeah, it takes literally nothing to reverse. The only problem with the reverse on this card is how many cards does your opponent have in the front row? Is it 2? You did better than any on-attack combo you could possibly get. Is it 3? You hit the lottery. Even if you hit a climax in one of your mills, it's like you're plussing 4 to 5 each turn. Maybe sometimes you're plussing 6. Like that's insane.
Bruh, even if you hit the choice trigger, bro, I'm adding I can add a card to my hand anyway if I so choose.
Right.
Well, it mills whatever it reveals. So unfortunately, you don't get whatever climaxes you end up showing there.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, you can't do that.
It would be great if you could reveal top 2 and it doesn't add, like, if it was on reverse and then you would know at the
You're saying if it was, like, actual Kotori.
Yeah.
Hey, man, fake burbs, man, fake!
I'll stick with Soy playable just because, while you two do bring up compelling points, I just think, like, this is not exactly, like, the way it is
probably not a middle.
It is a good way. This is a good early game combo. Don't get me wrong.
It's great for the budget players.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for budget players. That is, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's your probably second best combo that you got in the entire set. All 110 cards.
I could see that.
Hell, I can even look up its price right now, man.
Like 1 or 200 yen, right? Well, because this is release date
It's a
prices,
rare.
people.
It's gonna be so easy to come across.
Yeah.
It's probably 300 yen at the most.
At most,
That's like
yeah.
that climax is cheap as heck.
Yeah, it's about
Like
50 yen for the climax.
Yeah, you could buy, dude. It costs less than a McDouble in the Bay Area, man.
Bay
Yeah,
Area
so-
McDonald's is pretty expensive, just saying.
Or
There's a reason why I don't really eat there anymore.
or McDonald's in the Phoenix area.
and this is one thing that I gotta bring up with Sharo. Lots of foils. The yellow green deck is mostly Sharo. It's like the yellow deck. Hey, there's a little green. But the thing about her is she's got so many funny or cute faces in the set that sometimes it might even be better for like the budget player to not even max rare them. Like, look at the OFR, the art's great, but then you look at this and you're like, do I really give that up for some shiny cardboard? No.
Right.
It's the budget
Uh,
player's dream. It's the budget player's dream. But
Okay.
yeah,
Actually, I'm looking at the OFR right now. That's pretty adorable. But that's $100, man.
yeah. Either you pay $100 and you get her eating some ice cream, or you get her when she's like 5 or 6 years old, completely innocent smile, something you got to protect.
Yo,
And
man, that ice cream though. That ice cream.
Scream.
listen, I might go to the store after this, buy some ice cream because of the art, but this fills my heart. All right, I'm ready for the next one if you guys are.
Let's just
Fair
go on.
enough. It's study time, Sharo. 1145. Okay, she is a level assist for everybody that is Chia, Shadow, or Bloom. And you may pay 1, tap this, choose one of your Blooms or Chia and Shadow.
It's not a pay one, it's just rest this.
Oh, excuse me. It's give them 500 and the following ability till end of turn. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, you may stock kick them. Or stock swap them, I should say.
Stock swap kick.
Yeah, stock reverse, whatever you want to call it.
Right. It's not like old yellow cards where you're just going stocking, that's it.
No, it's not stock charge them.
Oh man, early yellow and Weiss Schwarz is suffering.
No.
Yeah, so if you look at this card, I'm gonna say that it's kind of mediocre. Both your level 1 combos, the DMS card and this new Bloom combo, are indefensible on the swing back. Like, this gives them 500 power. You're looking at 5k or 4500. On the ability to rest something to give a Bloom character stock reverse, like stock reverse is like, you're dead. Okay, I understand, but the 500 power for the 1 stock, it doesn't convince me that it's good enough to be played. Once again, I will have to mention, like, look at the face on it. You don't even need the SR card. That's a fun face. You want that on the field if you're going to play this card. But I don't think you play this card.
Well, let's see here. Let's look at the SR. She's not even blushing in the bloody SR, man.
Yeah, she's not blushing. It's just regular face Sharo. Yeah, I don't see where this goes in any deck. It's supposed to be like a target for your choice when you trigger it, but I think that this is like niche at best, bad in most other situations.
You know, educate me and the audience here. Does childhood friends have access to like other forms of level assist or
They do.
caustic assist that's like superior to this?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I remember correctly, it was a Chia from the first extra booster. Actually, let me take a look.
I know there's a Chia from DMS that gives level times 500, and then you can like rest it to do something. It wasn't something particularly relevant, and it was a 2-1, but you did have access to it. Level assist wise, like you don't even have to talk about this when we have the 3-2 2K in front that we just reviewed a little bit earlier.
True.
Like if you
Which probably matters more for power in the longer term.
yeah, power in the long term, I think that if you're playing the Bloom
Like
choice,
I would argue you're playing this because you're in some meta where certain pesky cards are running about that you just don't want on the board, like a JC profile or something.
yeah,
Fair enough.
something like that. It's like it can be relevant, but excluding like the 3 cards that like if you reverse them but they're still on the board, they're doing what they want. It's like this card's extra ability is irrelevant. And if you can't get it for free, like this is a 1/1, if it, you don't want to pay the extra stock. You'd much rather be doing anything with it, playing your Rickies in the yellow green. You'd rather be brainstorming. You've got like so many other tools that even just this one stock kind of hurts, and the payout is super minuscule. You are already getting your reverse with your 8K level 1 combo or your like 6-5 7-5 level 1 combo from DMS. You don't need this.
So actually, the 2-1 chi assist that Ian's talking about is whenever you use a startup, give 1,000.
Yeah, which but before Bloom, yellow green was all about the startup. You could even say that it kind of still is, but you can build the deck a little bit different, or it's not as based
You
around
choose
that.
to be more offensive burst versus trying to be more mid-range board.
Yeah, for sure.
The problem I have with this particular card, because I originally thought about this card when designing the deck, a Bloom centered deck. So, Bloom / Rabbit House deck, and I originally thought to myself, this could make these an 11K. But then I thought to myself, why do I care?
The power difference is so negligible. This is completely niche. The only relevant part that it has is if you're in a standby mirror match. If you have this in the Bloom deck, rest it, and one of your opponent's standby targets, you're probably getting over and sending the stock. Now, could that be like super relevant if all your locals plays is standby? Like, yeah, you get one standby target out, and there's no way they can encore or any other of that BS. But you could just take another assist and be bigger than them always. Like,
Right, and spoiler alert, a certain card in red will just be like standby matchup. Sure, I'm gonna win that every time.
oh yeah.
We're actually dipping. We're actually going to be dipping back and actually putting that card up, on our review list because it's that important.
It's technically not really dipping back when they unironically drinking it, right?
Oh,
I suppose so. They didn't give it the right trait. Come on, give us that new Bloom trait
right.
so that I can
So,
search it off anything I want.
Basically, what you're saying is why does Simfogger get to have like the correct modern reprints and Rabbids doesn't?
Yeah.
And then a certain other card, I'll be like, why can't you fetch Bloom trait?
Crying.
But yeah, my final score for this, I had it down as niche when I was initially looking at it, but seeing the pigeonhole that it's only even remotely relevant in a standby focused deck. In the mirror match, I gotta say that it's bad. I gotta.
Well, what about first off, Ian,
let's discuss limited here.
Let's discuss limited first.
Limited. It's you can probably get a hold of 1 or 2 copies, which is the most you'd ever play in Constructed in the first place. You can in the limited format, are you doing just mirror matches within that same box?
Yeah, correct.
Like so on judging by all the other potential combos that your opponent could pull, all of them are probably going to die on the swing back anyway. besides if your opponent gets the standby shell, which is in double rare, climax rare, I'm pretty sure, and rare. And you're not going to get so many multiples of that it would even be worth taking. So I don't think this is even relevant and limited either.
Wow. Yeah. Honestly speaking, the reason why I'm limited, I'm thinking of limited here is because that's the only way I can think of saving this card. Like initially speaking, okay, I was thinking this had a place, but after all my game time, going, no, not really.
Yeah, in the mirror match, you would barely ever want this. Um, the thought that you would even be able to go into a limited format and have a standby mirror match is laughable. Like out of one box, maybe even two, there's no way you could even build the core that would make it worth it.
And even if I was playing limited or playing standby and limited, I'd almost want to standby in some of the red cards instead.
Yeah, if you were the one playing standby and limited, first off, lucky you. Second off, none of the other combos are even gonna begin to touch you. Like you're already big enough. You're sitting at 10k, even with all the other combos, whether they be on attack or on reverse, none of them get over
You
10k.
do have to remember that in a limited contest, because of how few cards are going to be available, climax combos are not going to be consistent in general, and decks will not necessarily be consistent in general. They have to kind of, as we've discussed in previous episodes, playing limited is kind of more like, a lot of your deck is Highlander.
For sure, but I'm even trying to think of like the only context you ever take this is if you have the standby shell, and even if your opponent doesn't, and it's not climax combo reliant on either side, the answers to an early play standby thing in this set, in this bloom set in particular, is pretty low. So I don't think you need this as like an extra answer. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's bad.
And you know what? Okay, they make a big TV. Why? So we can watch Study Time Shadow in HD.
Listen, cute card still.
Oh, yes,
I'll give her that. Blushing, she's in the tracksuit. It's all good with me. The art is great. The card effect.
What is the cure for such poor grades? Dedicated time for study.
Oh man, and man, it's more of
I wanted to, but I'm kind of like.
I wanted to like this card. I wanted to. I honestly wanted to, but I'm like, you know what? No, I'm forced to.
And we have a card that is better at disposal anyway. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving on.
All right, this one's me. Secret Santa Sharo. It's your 3/2 10k Fleur de Lapin Bloom. When this card is put on stage from your hand, you can heal, and then climax combo with a choice climax. You can choose one of your other characters, and it gets the following ability. Once per turn on damage cancel, deal 2 damage to your opponent. So, this is your finisher. Maybe not in Bloom. That's literally a coin toss. Whether you really feel like building the deck around the red finisher or this one, but I think this is competing for space in the yellow-green deck, and this versus the green finisher, I'm definitely leaning toward this.
I honestly can see where
I could see the argument because if I'm not mistaken, Childhood Friends does have a Musashi.
Yes,
Childhood Friends does have a Musashi, and it also has a red card that combos with this particular one.
Yeah, more on that we get to red. I don't want to
Yeah,
have. I want to have
we'll
a
get to red,
have
and
a
we'll
Gorillion strike where it's saying red and blue.
But it's a healing finisher, whereas the green one is not. That one's a plussing finisher. This is not on reverse like the green finisher. So if your meta loves denying reverses like mine, this is 1000% where you're at. And I will say personally, while on cancel burn 2 is like not the most stunning thing in the world, it's a solid effect. Either they take the 3 damage from your swing, or they take the 2 damage from the cancel, or they just block twice and you've got like 1 to 2
Right.
blown
And
up
on top of
beats.
that, this does not require an extra cost ranking a pull off.
Yeah, no, it's completely free, which is another reason why you didn't want to pay the 1 stock in the level assist before. You might not want to pay the cost for the 3/2 top X check. You can just spend stock throughout the game, and if you end at level 3 your game with 6 or 7 stock, you literally have full combo, and that's not super difficult to take care of. I think costless, effective healer, and it's on a choice too, so you're going to be generating hand or stock throughout the game. It's super solid.
Honestly speaking, this is a your mileage may vary card. It's one of those. Well, again, if you live in a place like Arizona where the reversals, that ain't happening, Chief.
Absolutely
Sure.
not.
Right.
Everybody knows like that. That's also why I can't play the playable +1/0 yellow combo, is because reverses. Ha! You're really funny. You think you're getting those out here?
Not
But
happening, Chief.
yeah, no.
But
That's just my particular meta choice. And
like
same goes for this one.
like I said, you know, like I told Mike, I do plan on visiting you guys for World Grand Prix. Duly noted. Reversals ain't happening.
No. We played a couple of games testing out the various decks here, and Gavin can tell you from experience, I always denied the reverse. That boy was getting nothing. Nothing.
Man, I got like nothing. I got like nothing.
We played like 5 different games, and he got 1 reverse, like in 1 lane, in 1 game.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, I'm starved here. Well, but regardless, though, comparing this lacks the explosiveness that the green finisher will have.
The green finisher has a lot of explosive power, and in anything that wasn't the mirror match, or if there's like not a whole lot of hate for reverses, if you can get 2 reverses off the green finisher, it's really nice. It's on a gold bar. It's gonna come into your hand. It's on a draw 2 pitch one. I like it. I just have not tested it and probably can't, because I know reverses are a no-no in
Right.
my neck of the woods.
Right.
I'm not saying either is bad. I just think that if you're going to your regionals, if you're going to WGP, expect everybody that is your opponent to have the answers to certain things. And if they can just deny reverses, then if you're playing the green finisher, oh no, you don't have a finish. This one, regardless of what happens in your game, you're going to get a heal and you're going to get some sort of damage.
Right, and the big thing is that, okay, I'm generally like risk versus reward. I'm generally a big proponent of that on the show, and you know what? Honestly speaking, that's why I said your mileage may vary. If you live in a very hospitable environment like Ian's, yeah, you gotta play this. But if you live, in an area where people aren't expecting the reversal, you might be able to punk 1 or 2 off of them. The green finisher is better, but I honestly can respect that. You know what? This is free. This costed me nothing. Fuck all. I can drop these down with 6 stock, the 3 of these, and the choice. Boom. Let's go to town. Limited talk, gentlemen. I believe this is a rare, so you know what?
So it would be that hard to pull off with a common climax.
Yeah, rare and climax common, you could probably pull 2 of these off. It's a generic healer, which I also think gives it extra utility in constructed. If you look at yellow green, the amount of healers is your early play from the extra booster way back when, and this. And so,
wow.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. All we had was Presence Exchange Shadow and now Secret Santa. That's it.
Yeah, which I think this just gives you a generally more survivable board. Like with Chia, not only are you betting on the reverse, you're betting on when I do my combo, I win the game. Whereas this, yeah, you're hoping that's exactly it. Whereas this is potentially you live, potentially you're gonna kill them because you've got the cancel burns. You don't care whether or not they cancel or not, because if they don't, they're taking 3 or 4.
Honestly speaking, also another mark against Chia is her cost. She's expensive.
Pay 2, pitch 2. It's the same as old Coco Chino. You get more mileage out of it if you really liked that combo in the past. Coco Chino is just going to make you an even happier person. But
You know, Ian, entertain the thought. How many times have you considered playing Chino and Cocoa in in Chia and Shadow?
never once.
Okay,
I know a lot of people back in the old days were like, before Bloom, of course, were like, I had to slot in red for my Coco Chino combo. First off, how the hell did you even get those cards in hand? You're probably triggering your gates in the first place, and I get that it was probably your best option, but I stuck with yellow green even with the clock
That
kick.
almost reminds me of how set 1 girlfriend beta decks for yellow were just going like, yeah, I'm just gonna play 4 Chloe Lumiere and 4 doors and somehow pull this off.
Yes, it's like good combo, but I just got to sack into it and have it completely separated from the rest of my deck.
Right,
Now,
that sounds very
since,
unintuitive.
yeah, since Bloom is out, do not worry about that. In fact, Coco Chino extra booster combo has become irrelevant.
right.
Like I know it's hard for some to imagine on attack, burn one, gain 6K, 18K power. Like that has become not good enough in the landscape of Weiss Schwarz. But that's okay because of all this new support that we got.
And it's one thing that makes me go, well, look, I stuck by Rabbit Ear Park Chia, man. I stuck by Rabbit Ear Parker the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Never once did I convert. I was like, you know what? This isn't worth it.
I added the Musashis, but any sane man would.
Of course.
And I do like that this card, like, affect, like, this card, like, goes, hey, we can't forget about, like, interactions like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I have to give this the playable rating. I really have to.
Same. I like this card over.
Yeah, 100% playable. I still have to do a little bit of testing to see if I would even mark it like playable plus,
Oh, fair
because
enough.
it's really what, like, completely costless, which means you're spending stock to fix everything throughout Yellow Green's game.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a solid one. Don't sleep on this card.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Next.
Alright, yep. We have request for support. Sorrow level 00 cost 500 power with Forgetting Long and Bloom traits. On play, choose one of your Bloom or characters with Sorrow in your card names and gets 1500 power until end of turn and choose a level 0 stock bomb.
Yawn. This card's lame.
Honestly, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It isn't. If you consider that the yellow green deck has like 4 different clock bombs, like 2 other stock reverse bombs, and your only thing that needs a reverse is already 8K without this, so it doesn't need the boost. It's like, what are you doing playing this 500 card?
I will ask this question though. What were the power lines of these other bombs you speak of?
Like 1K, dude.
1K.
The original Chia clock bomb was 1500. You had a Sharo and the extra booster that like fixed your clock for color and was at 1000. You had the DMS double rare Chia that was a clock bomb, but also mill 2 if you hit a climax, pitch a card, salvage a card, which that is 1000% more playable than this.
The reason why I asked about the powers because there are, especially if you're playing against like the memory matching, like, you could try to like be under them and try to deny or delay your shenanigans.
100%. If you're going up against a memory combo thing, but at the same time, any of the decks that it's like, if they get one of this card into memory, their whole plan goes through. Like if we're talking Charlotte, like they only need one, and you're not gonna stop it throughout
All
the
right,
whole game.
I'm talking more like the couple.
Yeah. If you're trying to stop them from getting like 4 or 5 cards in, maybe. But I will also admit, after seeing your guys' Decappa review, there's just cards that you don't have to reverse them; they just send themselves to memory. I don't. I think that going from 500 power with this to 1,000 power to a card that can fix your hand with a salvage and mills in yellow green, this is just it doesn't
And you
make.
brought that there were no issues in the past, so fair enough.
Yeah. In a limited sense, this is a fine card.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
You
it's
can
free
pick it up.
power and it's disposal at early.
Yeah, but as far as trying to rate this in a constructed sense, I am niche at best, bad in most other contexts. There's just better bombs in the deck.
That is fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. You know what? It's again. I'm trying to think. In limited, there's not that many cards I wanted to deny.
All right, it's more of limited you play it because it's free 1,500 power.
I guess, and that's
And this is more for it's one of your few level 0 removal in this project, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, it is actually. So, you know what? Thanks, limited.
Yeah, I think I gotta give it a niche as well.
Yeah, I'd probably go niche.
All right, fair enough.
All things considered.
I can't be that nice to it.
Yeah, it has its uses, but no why
Yeah.
number.
As soon as you switch to constructed, like don't even look at this card. It's a waste of
Right.
your time.
Right. Well, thank you for that reminder there. All right, moving on.
Okay, Oktoberfest Shadow 11500. So, Lord Borden has entered the chat, boys.
Okay, has indeed entered the chat.
Now, here's my problem.
Nothing to defend, right?
Okay. The 2/2 standby combo. I'm going, alrighty, I would love to defend this, but the majority of the time that she's gonna die, she's gonna get bombed off the board. Like, that's
Because they see that it has like encore clause, and it's like, nah, bro.
like literally, okay. Why not? If I'm gonna have to pitch the card anyways, why not just pay hand encore instead of having to pay a stock and a card?
Fair enough.
And okay, I might get a filter off of this. Okay, I mean, sure.
This card might surprise you with how much you just ragged on it, Gavin. But in the yellow green deck, I think I'm at 3 of these. I was real hyped when they showed this one.
Okay. For Chia Shadow, actually, it's because I can see where you're coming from. It's mostly because of the fact that the deck has so little mill that even something simple like Borden here can help you move through that deck.
Right,
and
you guys
it's
mentioned
leaf a counter at level 1.
Right. And on top of that, you guys mentioned that there was like this act package going on.
You have the act package before this. The relevant parts of this card are it's a backup. It has a soul trigger, so you can choice it to hand.
Right.
And it's a leaf a counter at level 1, which is potentially 1 mil.
Yeah.
I don't even play this expecting my card to survive, but because I'm running the 3/2 Charlotte top end that's costless, I can afford to pay 1 stock to potentially mill myself 1 deeper, maybe save a card, and then have this card to either send a stock on a choice or send to my hand on a choice.
Right. So you're more than willing to pay one to mill one, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a sad state of affairs in Charochia, but Leafa counter is playable in a lot of sets, and this is Leafa counter an hour or not an hour, a level earlier.
And the big thing is that in SAO, I absolutely love this card. And I'm going here. I'm going, well, okay, fair enough. Unfortunately, your statement, I think, more says more about Shia and Shadow more than it does for this particular card. More than this particular card.
Yeah, I would say so. You have a generic 2K counter in green if you really didn't want to spend the stock, but I think since if you run a choice combo or both of the choice combos, like this is kind of where you're at. You move from the 1-0 to get this 1-1. It's in those choice decks, it's like a strict upgrade. In like a Bloom generic deck, I don't know if you run this really, but Charochia, I think you run a couple of these.
Well, we also have ice cream counter, if I remember correctly. We
Yeah,
also
I recall something like that.
We also have the cost of ice cream, but at the same time, you know, I think I prefer Lord Borden over the ice cream at this point
Yeah,
for the free
you.
version.
The
Yeah.
top check one for all of you listening is just it's slightly more impactful than anything else you're going to get out of any other counter at this level.
You know what? Okay, from a limited standpoint, actually, you know what?
You
Sure,
don't
why
mind.
not?
You
Actually,
don't
play
mind.
this.
You don't mind.
It's an uncommon. You could totally get 4 of these. Limited standpoint, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
I would even without me running a choice combo, which you could do because most of it's on a rare and climax common anyway. Yeah, you could totally pick up like 3 or 4 of these and have yourself a fun time.
Okay, okay, for Oktoberfest, you know what, Ian? I was originally going to niche this, but playable minus.
Yeah, we'll give it a playable minus as well. It is because it's primarily for childhood friends and has decent usefulness.
Yeah, I'll go straight playable, not even playable minus, because I think this is the counter that you're running if you're running any counter in that deck. But I think it goes in one deck.
Okay.
Just one.
Fair enough, fair enough. Alright. Well.
Alright. Gillette de Roy's Charo. I know I butchered that pronunciation. 002K, Fleur de Lapid and Bloom. When this card's put from stage on stage from hand, this card gets 1500 power until the end of the turn. So it's completely free. You don't even need another relevant trait character, even though you would totally have it. And then pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock. When this goes from a stage to waiting room, you can Ricky effect, which is basic, or you can salvage anything that's Bloom, Charo, or Chia.
I was gonna say Krista would be more accurate.
Yeah, Krista would be more accurate, but yeah, this is your on death Ricky. This is Krista is the official terminology, and this card is probably the most complicated in the color for me because it's like completely useless in a limited format or outside of a limited format, and it's still a decent card. Like the only thing holding this card back is other cards that exist. In yellow green, you've got a regular Ricky. In pretty much any other context, you have the Krista from Rabbit House. You have something in blue that we can get to when it's time for blue. But this being on death means that your opponent controls the timing more than you do.
And,
which
if they play non-red bombs, they could deny this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking about this. In Chi and Shadow, no way in hell.
No, you already have the Ricky. There's this has 0 slots.
You have actual Ricky.
And guess what? She is 3K at all times. I'll take vanilla statted, you know, versus 2K toughness. Oh, jeez, this is gonna get bulldozed.
Right.
You know, again, and again,
It's kind of funny how when I read this, I'm like, okay, on a nutshell, it's not terrible, and I read the rarity. Whoa, it's only a common.
Yeah.
okay. In Bloom specific, I'm going. What room do I have for this? I really don't have the room
With
for
all
this.
the double rares that are in Bloom, and since Bloom literally spans all 4 of the colors, you get the best of the best in this set. There's no room for this.
Exactly. So those are the 2 main decks that I can think of that would mostly use this. In terms of limited, you know what? In limited,
Limited, this is one of your best, most commonly seen pickups. Like,
right.
yeah.
You take this because it swings for 3,500 on the play,
and then on death, you're getting ready for some combo.
It cantrips you.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's one of the best cards in limited. In constructed, I'm sorry, it doesn't even belong in its faction.
Yeah. It's there's so many cards that does what it does better, but yeah, limited, you're cracking a pack or an entire box with your friends.
You may unironically, but yeah, you unironically first pick this.
Oh yeah,
that'll give me a niche in my rating probably.
You know what? Give this the playable minus. This is an all-star unlimited.
Yeah, I had to give it a playable minus as well because of this is a staple in limited.
Yeah. For sure, staple and limited, but I base my ratings on constructed a lot. And
That's fair. You know, the more we diversify, the better. Actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And also, I believe the French would call it Gaillette de Roy, if I'm not mistaken. Or Gaillette de Roy. I don't know.
Thank you for because there's like 4 more cards with that same thing, so I'd rather not mess it up.
Well, let's see who reads them by that point.
And also, doesn't this anime take place in France?
No,
I thought it was Venice.
Yeah, I thought it was
Venice, Italy.
Venice, Italy, okay.
A culmination between Japan and Venice.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
I got like Venice inspired with Japanese.
Yeah,
and that's what I was thinking.
Fair enough.
That's what I thought the wood frame town was.
Yeah.
You know, they never officially stated it in the anime, so I'm going, where does
but those canals are iconic. There's no way it's anywhere else.
Not fair enough.
Right, it really feels more Venice than anything.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on.
And also coffee. You know, coffee's like very Italian. Alright, moving on. Alright, Brocard Bargain 1/1 event. If you do not have a character with sorrow in its card game, you cannot play this card from your hand. Look at up to the top X cards of your deck. Add up to 1 card monster to your hand. Mill the rest. Where S is the number of your Bloom characters and characters with sorrow and Chia in your card game is +1. So it's like Duck Trio plus.
No. Okay, why do I care?
You care because it's in yellow green. This is a cost 1 mill 6.
Okay. It's a
cat. Yeah, you guys kept mentioning that childhood friends has this problem of fixing deck states.
It's like 0 mil, man.
So why not make a full board? Unironically pay 1, get something back, and go through your deck plus 6 cards.
It doesn't check for trait. You don't have to reveal it to your opponent. It's straight grab anything. This is
illegal to reveal it to the opponent in the first place.
Yeah. So
fair enough.
in the 8 choice deck, this is how you get your climax. In choice wind, this is still how you get your climax, and it's not costless mill, which is I know what a lot of people were looking for, but costless mill normally comes in mill 2, maybe mill 3. This is a mill 6. I don't think you play a new yellow-green build without at least one of this card. I'm at 2 copies personally.
And on top of that, you know, like you're saying, this could grab events and climaxes.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this whiffs on divination, man.
It's a small risk you're taking for overall longevity.
If you play 2 of this, no other cards that whiff on the combo. Like, this is definitely a price to pay. This is run for the same sort of reason that the spammable Brainstorm is run. It's because sometimes you're just in a bind and you need the extra card. And milling 6 is great. Grabbing a climax off of a card is great.
I like that they've actually acknowledged these issues in the past with Childhood Friends deck by
Okay.
making cards like this.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? You know what? Okay. You bring up a good point, Ian, and that's why we have you on the show, because
Right.
you know what? Okay, I'm a disgruntled old veteran who has played Gochi and Usa in the past, but I'm going, you know what? Some of my memories aren't as great. And
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
man, honestly, why couldn't they give us Azusa, man? Why couldn't they?
No,
We have it just in the wrong colors.
wrong colors. Right, exactly. Anyway, as for limited,
Limited.
I don't think you mind.
You definitely don't
Yeah.
mind this if you've got a couple of the Rickies that
But
we just went
right,
over.
Right.
Like,
you will have
that's the-
sorrows. You will have
Yeah.
sorrows. You know, imagine not taking Gaiek Roy sorrow.
mhm. And in a constructed sense, your new Bloom Brainstorm is literally Sharo. It could be the only Sharo in your deck, and if you wanted to play this in like full on Bloom where it's not even the focus, this could grab you events, other events, climaxes. Like, it doesn't have to be put anywhere else, but it's an option, and
Yeah,
a splashable option at that.
I do like that possibility
Mhm.
if you could fit it.
Fair enough. Hey, you know what? Okay, fair enough.
I'm at playable with this thing.
I guess I give it a playable as well.
I'm going to divulge a little bit here
Yeah,
and go
that's
with playable
fine.
minus, because I'm going.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, I do have a little bit of reservation towards it, but you know what? Okay, I was originally going to incinerate this.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I was
but
actually,
it could potentially say pay 1, mill 6, don't even do anything else, and Charles Chia might still take it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't
it-
add
it-
anything, strict minus, and you might still grab it.
strict neg. Not even the cantrip, Ian. The strict neg.
Yeah, pay 1, lose a card in hand, mill 6.
Because
Charo Chia might have taken it.
plus 6 to deck state.
Yeah. So the fact that it does anything is great. Thank you, Bushy Road.
Yeah, thank you, Bushro, actually. All right.
Fair enough.
So this coming card here is actually not in the set properties. It's a box topper, I believe, or something like that.
It's part of like a PR pack. I think you
PR
get
pack,
like
excuse
6 you get like 6 if you order a case, but I've also been seeing on the board some people have not been getting their packs, which kind of scares me.
Okay, well, anyway, it was a throwback to an older card.
Oh, it. You know, I almost want to say Obon Day, but it's actually called Break Time this time around. 001 case. So Amo Usa Ana Fleur de Lapin. Okay, if you have. So when this enters the battlefield, if you have another cheer or shadow in its card name, you may pay the cost of 1 and hitting yourself. If you do, perform the following action 4 times. You may clock swap.
Yeah. So this is just a reprint of old cards. For those of you watching that don't know, there's about 4 of these in the set, and this is a fantastic card. This is what separated yellow green from all the other decks, in my personal opinion, and made it really unique. This is a hand fix 4 times for the cost of a Ricky, and it's better than the original. Firstly, because it has Chia in name, so it can proc off cards that need different names, and as well as it's got milk tea on the card, and that queen milk tea right there, and is super cute. So
I do like the reimagined art.
it's super nice. Yeah.
I kind of wish I had some of the re-envisioned arts. Like
what was the original card called again? You were trying to say it earlier.
It's Obo at the Obone. At the Obone drop.
Okay, got it.
Now, my biggest problem with this, look, I never ran this card back in the day. I never did. Thinking to
Really?
myself, honestly speaking, I wasn't as experienced back then as I am now. And I was just like, oh, why would I play this card, man?
It doesn't plus you, so on the surface you could be like, I'm just spinning my wheels 4 different times, but no, this card is pretty awesome.
Like, again, it like helps to like, it effectively like helps. This it's like one of your earlier ways to like go through your deck quicker, or you have like all these other new tools in Bloomy.
Go through your deck quicker, grabs literally anything. So events, you've got it.
I believe
Climaxes, you've got it.
I believe you were playing Gold Bar back then. This could be a way to like help get rid of those excess Gold Bar.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Okay, fair enough. I wasn't experienced enough to realize, hey, all the potential effects for it.
Mm-hmm.
All the potential benefits of being able to hand filter. I'm going, okay. Again, it's man, I still ran the volleyball combo at the time. I
mean, you had to back in set 1.
Right, but at the same time, that volleyball combo was ass, and you know that.
It was 6K, top check, add to hand. It's just
the real struggle bus.
It was 65, but at the same time, that's not that much better.
Yeah, a relic of a past time for sure. And this might be a relic, but this, honest to God, like, is completely playable even to this day. I don't think I've ever run more than 2. I'm at 1.
I do like that they unironically like brought back some of these key cards from like way back when.
Oh yeah, it's gonna help people that are just like stuck in Bloom, and since all these other sets haven't been reprinted, like these reprints are just gonna help everybody else. But
right.
They're gonna be expensive.
I do like that, but it does help to create extra circulation of these effective copies on the market.
Oh yeah.
Price checking it. This card is $8.
Yeah, $8 for this. Most Sharochia cards are fine seeing either name. So I don't think that this having both names really changes much, especially in the more modern versions of the deck.
Right.
But it's nice. The art's great. It's a card that you should be playing anyway. Literally, playable plus. It's an old card, but it makes it as a one of in the Sharochia deck. Don't sleep on this card. Play 1. If you have reservations about it, just see how it is. It doesn't work like any other Ricky because you don't want to be 0-6. But if you've taken 4-5 damage, do this, and your clock is now your hand for 4 times. Filtering, it's all great. This card does so much.
I'll give it a playable. I do like the potential.
Mm-hmm. Well, plus this card is so unique. Literally nothing even comes close in any other set ever printed. The most that you get is 1 clock fix. This does it 4 times.
You know what?
I argue maybe the closest is maybe something in Dog Days, but their gimmick was all about like my clock is my hand.
You know what? I regret not playing this. I honestly regret it now because
it just sounds so useful, doesn't it?
It sounds amazing. Like the fact that I can pay 1 hit myself to go through 4 cards at the top of my deck, I'll take it at this point.
And that card that you hit yourself with is just another card you can add to hand.
Exactly.
Like clock is one of those zones that you just don't have easy access to in general. This gives you that access.
My clock in Chia and Shadow, my clock is my hand. My clock acts like my second hand. So again, it feels just so much better. Like the fact that we are so desperate for mill. Like, oh my god, the fact that I would even consider playing the bloody spammable, man, that is a real struggle bus right there.
It really is.
Like,
But everybody who's watching, be aware that this does not have the newest bloom trait. It's
Yeah.
just Amusan, Florida Lapin, which are both irrelevant
and
traits. It's
and you know,
just for the old deck.
and this applies to all of the other all of the other promo pack cards as well, because they want to keep the original essence of that card.
Yeah, they're complete reprints. If they had bloom on them,
Well,
boy,
not
would you be
well
getting the new
complete.
ones because they'd be much
Some
better.
some of them are effective reprints. Some of them actually kept the name. Like this is like effective reprint because if you have Obong or actually Obong Sharo, you effectively could play both.
Yeah,
you could, but
Not that you would, but
at the same
or you'd be cheeky, play one the other, one of each or something.
I would just strictly play this because, again, honestly speaking,
art's nicer.
Nicer, yeah.
Ian, looking through your Chia and Shadow deck, there's more green cards than yellow cards in that deck, isn't there?
No. Actually, like I was saying before, it's Sharo featuring Chia.
Okay.
You sometimes get them.
Maybe you just saw green a lot because maybe in that game green mattered more.
You've got the new runner, you've got the new free fresh counter, but there's not a whole lot that's super relevant throughout the game. Definitely next time when we hit on green, I'm gonna come at you with all the relevant cards, all the cards like consider this is trash, blah blah blah. But as far as yellow cards go, play this card. One of them's enough. If you want to go more, 100%. But this card's great.
You know what? I wish I could tell myself 5 years ago, bro, you play this. You know what? I'm gonna join Ian on this one.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So, I wish I could think of it more, but no, Yo is unironically just short in Bloom here.
It's like 13 cards, and then adding this PR is just a little bit extra.
The sad part is there are technically more yellow cards, but they're referred to in other cards that I don't want to spoil right here.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I'm like, oh, I want to put you in here so I can reduce the number of how long red and blue are gonna be, but it's gonna be pain.
I've been warning you, man. Bloom is lopsided.
Bloom is one of the most lopsided progress I've seen by far.
It's always been. Always.
Again, gentlemen, buckle down for red and blue.
Buckle down is right. So so overall thoughts on yellow.
Overall thoughts, much needed improvements. Some literally mill 6 changes the game. You might not be running 4 of it, but it's good. You've got a finisher that's not just a straight clock kick. Thank God. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I do like the welcome changes, especially to childhood friends, and some possibilities for a modern style Bloom good stuff stack as well.
Yeah, this changes your utility and your top end.
I do
potentially if in your level 1 combo, but then once we look at green, we'll see the other half of the deck, quote unquote, and see yellow green.
Childhood friends wrapping up.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Okay, yellow. You know what? I'm not mad at all. Actually, I really like the improvements they made in yellow, and the fact that Chia and Shadow could have really used the help.
I really like what they legacy support.
Pre Bloom. Oh god, this is barely better than LB. This is like a different variation of LB. Because
now it's be careful who you make fun of in high school because they're coming for you.
Right. I was about to say, I'll meet you at the lockers. After school.
The lockers? You're not meeting them at the back of the bar?
Or the back of the alleyway.
They're meeting you at a tea or coffee shop, fellas.
Oh yes.
Oh, you're right.
I mean, it's one of those things. I've been looking forward to it.
this is one of the 2 sets that I truly care about this year.
I care far too much.
Thanks for coming on, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. We look
Yeah,
forward to
I'm
doing
so
this.
excited to be here. The
Yeah.
next ones are going to be great.
We're very
Everybody,
very glad to have you. I
Yeah,
really
of
like the
course.
knowledge you have offered to both of us here as well as our audience.
Listen, if anybody in this entire Weiss Schwarz game is a simp for rabbits, it's me. So yeah, I'm just glad to share anybody on the fence about getting it or what they should play.
Like Gavin here knows that I do really much like this this franchise. I just haven't had the heart to like buy into playing it in Weiss Schwarz. This is
No. I am turning you into Sao fuck first, sir.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
I am turning you into Sao fuck first. Then we're coming here.
No, don't do this. Anyway, I guess that's going to do it for us here tonight. So thank you all for watching. Like we saw, be sure to give this a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share, ring a notification bell because
these all help the YouTube algorithm. So we also have Patreon and Coffee as well. They will help us make more content for you guys, and any contributions, well, they'll come right back to the show, boys. All right,
we appreciate having everybody here. This is a great time. Thanks for watching us.
Yep. Thank you for everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.